The Ancestral Flame, Legend of Bát Tràng Pottery Village. Part 1. The riverbank, the red soil, and a dream of fire. Long ago, on the left bank of the Red River, lay a vast stretch of fertile land enriched by centuries of silt. This land would come to be known as Bát Tràng, a sacred place blessed with all four elements: earth, water, wind, and fire. These were the elements of life and the soul of pottery. In that village lived a young man named Tran Hu, a humble worker who shaped bricks for a living. One stormy night, while dozing beside his kiln, Tran Hu dreamed of an old man with silver hair and a robe like a Taoist master. The man stepped out from the fire and said, "This soil is sacred. If you can keep the flame alive, generations will craft bowls and vases that bring honor to this land." Awakening with the dream seared into memory, Tran Hu began collecting clay from the riverbank. He filtered it, kneaded it, and fired it in his old kiln. The first batch cracked, the second shattered, but he did not give up. Years passed. Finally, a shimmering white glazed bowl emerged from the kiln, gleaming like jade. The villagers were astonished. They hailed Tran Hu as the founding ancestor of Vietnamese ceramics. Part 2. Pottery on riverboats. Under the hands of Tran Hu and his apprentices, Bát Tràng prospered. They produced exquisite wares: blue and white teacups, dragon-shaped wine jars, water urns carved with ancient Nam script. Merchants from Thang Long, Hai Duong, and even distant lands like Champa, China, and Siam came to trade. Bát Tràng's people were not just artisans, they were innovators. They experimented with tree ash glazes, blended clays from different provinces, and perfected firing techniques. Each departing riverboat carried not just pottery, but the essence of Vietnamese culture. One day, the royal court held a contest to find the best pottery for imperial tribute. Tran Hu, now an old man, sent his disciple Lu Kan to the capital with a teapot engraved with a poem, a fragrant cup of tea, a lifetime of longing. The king was deeply impressed and granted him the title, Essence of Vietnamese Earth. Part 3. Fire in Times of Turmoil. During the Trinh Nguyen civil wars, chaos reached even Bát Tràng. Merchants stopped visiting. Kilns grew cold. Many villagers abandoned the craft. But one woman remained, Nguyen Thi Lua, the great-great-granddaughter of Tran Hu. Every day, she lit her kiln and taught local children how to spin clay, glaze bowls, and feel the earth. When others asked her, "Why work when there's no one left to buy?" she replied, "Pottery isn't only for trade. It carries the soul of our land. If the flame doesn't burn today, it will burn tomorrow." She also revived the ancestor worship festival every 20th day of the last lunar month, praying that the craft would live on. Her efforts were recorded in the village history. Thanks to her devotion, when peace returned, the kilns roared back to life, as though they had never gone silent. Part 4. Pottery in Modern Times. Bát Tràng entered a new era, one of industry and urbanization. Young people left for the cities. The old kilns faced demolition, but a group of passionate youth, descendants of Tran Hu, chose a different path. They founded a cooperative, brought Bát Tràng online, joined international fairs, and offered pottery village tours. One of them, Phuong, a fine arts graduate, created a collection called The Vietnamese Soul, combining Jong Ho paintings, folk poems, and traditional musical instruments on ceramic surfaces. It won an award in Japan. Bát Tràng was reborn once more. The ancestral flame flickered again, not just in kilns, but in hearts. Epilogue. For over 500 years, Bát Tràng pottery has endured invasions, wars, and modern change. Its survival lies not only in clay or fire, but in the spirit of preservation and the deep flame of tradition passed down through every Vietnamese hand. If you ever visit Bát Tràng, you may still hear the spinning wheel, feel the warmth of the fire, and touch a cup that carries the story of a nation. The story, The Ancestral Flame, carries a profound message about preserving and honoring Vietnam's cultural traditions through the image of Bát Tràng Pottery Village and the people devoted to their craft. The story praises perseverance, passion, and the unyielding spirit of artisans who have quietly kept the fire of tradition alive for centuries. The fire in the story is not only the literal kiln flame, but also a symbol of national identity, of the Vietnamese will to endure through war, hardship, and the winds of change. It pays tribute to past generations, humble, uncelebrated souls who, with their bare hands, safeguarded a cultural legacy. To them, pottery was not just a livelihood, but a sacred bond to the land, a reflection of identity, and something to be passed down. The new generation continues this journey in innovative ways, creating new designs, bringing Bát Tràng to global markets, and showing that tradition, when nurtured with love and creativity, never becomes outdated. The story reminds us that building a lasting future starts with remembering our roots. Culture does not live only in museums. It lives in the stories, the objects, and the hands of those who care. The ancestral flame is a symbol of Vietnam's cultural vitality. Quiet, resilient, but always burning bright. If one day you hold a simple ceramic bowl, remember, it may carry the warmth of 1,000 hands and the silent fire of 1,000 years.